Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Man's Edition, presented by Creative Emotions. Thank you very much. My name is Frederick Wilson, but I go by AKA Chef Wilson. I just want to thank everybody who's tuning in today and have been consistently. Thank you. Hope everybody's been enjoying their week. We're going to get right into this, but I can't go anywhere with this without, I got an announcement to make. Usually I would have guests introduce themselves, but joining on board of Man's Edition, I would have to say is Todd here. Todd B. Now, he's going to be a regular. He's not going to be a ghost.
That's good.
A ghost.
Yeah.
When you don't see him sometimes, he is a regular host on this show.
I appreciate it, man.
I welcome and I thank your energy, man.
Thank you,
really
man.
do.
Appreciate you, man. For real. Appreciate it.
Yes. So I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself a little bit for the ones, and maybe they're first time tuning in or first time seeing you.
Oh, yeah, man. My name is B. Todd. I'm the host of my show, Talks with Todd. I'm also on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. I'm on Pod Talk. I'm on Respectfully Speaking. And now y'all going to catch me right here on Men's Edition, man. Creative Emotions. It's about to be fire. I've been on here before, rocking it out with my mans and other guests. And now I'm here to stay. So be on the lookout.
I thank you because that's you bring quite a resume.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You've been putting your work in. And thanks for sharing your previous videos, like when you first started with some of your shows.
Thank you.
And I needed that in my life at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
most
so
definitely.
that was amazing.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get right into today's topic, and we're talking about, is anyone home?
Yeah.
So it just seems like these days, like I'm not sure, Todd. It's like everyone's out in the streets living their best life.
Yeah.
Right.
For the most part,
right? And I just came to this conclusion by watching people's social media posts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it just came to mind. I'm like, man, do they ever get any rest? And then are they ever at home? Right. So the one thing that we're out here doing, we're working for consistently at work, even if you have a purpose in life that turned into a business, it all started because you wanted a better home life and opportunities for your children.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I do agree. I think a lot of people don't know how to find that balance between their home life, business, work, whatever. I think that's what was causing everything. And then you look at social media, everybody just posting a highlight reel. All they showing you is the good stuff. They're not showing you the struggles because they want you to believe in this fairy tale, which has been going on for quite some time. Like it started before social media. It started with movies. You know what I'm saying? So It just kind of carried on and progressed and got worse through time. But when you're in the whatever field that you're in that you love, you definitely have to find a balance, or you're gonna lose some good people, or you're gonna lose a position. That's it. And I think once people start figuring out how to work out that balance and make it work for them, not even just having things balanced out and you just feel like you spread thin. I mean, it's really working for you. You're gonna be good to go. But when it comes down to most people trying to figure out what's more important, everybody prioritizes differently.
Yes.
And I think that's where the issues come in.
I agree with you 100%. And I was just thinking, like, if we as people would check in at home as much as we do on Facebook and social media, things would be a lot more peaceful.
Yep.
Your home life will be more solid. Just your relationship with your family members, whoever's living under their roof. And we can start with husband and wife. And if you're not married, it can be your significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend. And then also the children.
Yeah.
Right? So when I think about it, sometimes I get caught up in Facebook because I'm looking at different shows and doing research, and people are posting all day. And it's just me observing, but it seems like people are back and forth between work and whatever they're doing for the day.
Right.
At least every other 15 minutes, they're back on social media.
Yep.
Right? So if you can give that energy and check in at home. And I wanted to expound on something and have you explain this, because a couple minutes ago you said you may lose some people or some positions.
Yeah.
What are those people in those positions that you're referring to, or why these people are not checking in at home?
I think a lot of the times people could just get too caught up in their own world. And I've done it myself. Like jumping into this podcast game, I realized that I wasn't finding a balance between doing this and being a husband, mainly because this was new to me and I didn't want to give up on it. You know what I'm saying? I've been a quitter before. I've quit stuff that I actually love doing because I just wasn't seeing what I was getting out of it right away. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't being patient. I was being spoiled. So a lot of times when people got something that they love, they want to hold on to it. In my case, I want to hold on to it. I didn't want to get distracted. I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to fall off. I was scared. You know what I mean? So that kind of took up, that time of my life really took over, like, you know, everything. Like, I wasn't focused on nothing else. I didn't care about being a good husband. Did my episode hit home with somebody is what I was concerned about. So when you start falling in love with something else other than outside of home, it can get tricky if you don't have that balance. So when I started, like, when my wife started coming to me, let me know, hey, look, you're not being no husband. You every time we have a conversation, it's podcast this, podcast that. Baby, I'm sorry. Look, I ain't been passionate about nothing in a minute. So now that I'm here, I want to hold on to it. Forgive me. Understand where I'm coming from. I understand, but at the same time, she didn't, because she wasn't in my shoes. So I had to work through that too. So when I realized what I was doing, it started with having some type of self-control, like controlling what comes out my mouth next. Like, it can't be about another episode. We need to talk about other stuff. How we gonna improve each other? And I think it just comes from, again, where you place everything. If I'm putting something else over my house, that's gonna always come before my house, unfortunately. So I had to make both worlds exist.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
So when I listen to you, you said a few things, and I agree with you. So the people you can lose can be the people that you share that roof with.
Yeah.
Your children, how you can lose them. Sometimes you can lose them to the streets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You know, you can lose them to bad decisions they made because you weren't there to pour into them.
Yes.
You can maybe lose your spouse because you're not there enough, and it creates separation and maybe anxiety with the other person, abandonment issues. So I do agree with you 100% on that. And then you said one other thing, and I truly believe in a lot. And I tell people in life, get in control of your desires. And it's not always have to be referred to something romantically, right? So your desires can be for your podcast to win. Right? So if we get control of our desires, and like you said earlier, learn to have a true balance. So anything in life, like I just got to the point where I'm eating dinner at a certain time, and that is it. Right? Bottom line. You know, so now we have to go back, and if you're at home and you wanted parents, a husband and wife, you are in a position, I believe, Todd, to start standards don't always have to be what time you should be in the house, don't hang with these people. It can be the standards you building in your house for your foundation. So your kids, no matter where they're at, it'd be like it's 6 o'clock, I got to head home for dinner. That 6 o'clock kept them from making an unwise decision that may have put them in a position.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would go likewise for a husband or wife.
Yeah.
Right? So it's some important lessons to be learned at home. And not only that, it can possibly save your life or somebody under your roof's life by just coming home. I have this thing now, people, where I've been doing this for over 20 years, but when I get off work, I go right home. Always check in.
Got you.
Now, if I need to leave after that, but I always check in first.
Yep. Make sure the crib's good first, man.
Make sure the crib. And then it may have been something I somewhat softly committed myself to, but because I came home and I sat down and I just that peaceful time said, you know what? I don't think I'll be doing that. And that probably saved my life. Or saved my finances.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So it is most definitely some benefits being at home,
Yeah.
people, for your mental health. How could a place that you search for, you could have been renting this home or purchase this home, and you put so much thought and effort into it. You work, you save up for the down payment, and then when you finally get this place and you decorate it, you put the furniture in it, the first thing you want to do is not be at home.
Yeah, that's wild to me. I want to enjoy my home when I'm moving there. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't see myself just staying away like that unless I'm really taking care of business, and it really depends on what that business is. Like all business is not good business.
Absolutely.
So if it's a trip that got something to do with podcasting, you know I'm there. If I can make it, if I can help it, I'm there. But sometimes outside of that, I'm not doing it because I'm not. See, what people fail to realize, like when people find something that they love, it's not about the money. A lot of the times, it's about what you love doing. So Miles could call me and say, "Hey, man, look, we're going to Florida next month." All right, cool. Let me plan for it, but I'm definitely down to go. And it ain't got to be no money. It's just the experience alone. I'm in another area promoting my podcast, the podcast that we're a part of, whatever. That's what it means to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think when it comes down to stuff like that, I'm not just about to say, okay, listen, why don't let me bring home with us? Let me bring home with what I'm doing, so they can see what's going on and why I love doing what I love doing so much. And then I think maybe then they might get a better understanding, or they'll get a better understanding once they find something that they're passionate about like that. Absolutely. But I would definitely try to include both, because if you don't, like I said, you're gonna lose some people, or there's definitely gonna be some resentment if you don't lose anybody.
And that's the next thing I wanted to discuss, and you segue right into it. I was just thinking here, how can we raise children when both parents are consistently in the streets, living their best life separately?
Yeah, that's nuts. They're
separately.
You can't. There's no way you can do that, because, like you said, the streets is either gonna raise the kids, right? And if it's not the streets, it's gonna be the video games.
Absolutely.
Not the video games, it's gonna be the movies, TV shows. Something else is gonna take place of you not being there, and that's what you don't want, because you could easily create a monster by not being present.
Absolutely.
This goes wife, kids, family members, whoever. You could do that, because you don't. A lot of people are unaware how much power that they hold within themselves. So
do you think that social media posts has somewhat seduced the mind and brainwashed people a little bit? As far as I hear this all the time. People are like, I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, so you're out here, right? So I don't know if we get into competition, competing against one another, like, oh man, she or he did a nice post, but you know what? I'm out here too. Wait until I do my post, right? And I see that a lot.
Yeah. People start getting competitive off of being copycats. That's all it is. They sitting up here, they're comparing something that they think is real. Most of these people are online not being themselves, not living where they say they living, not driving what they say they driving, and to the unknown, it looks like they doing something. Oh, now I gotta outshine them. It's really stupid and it's really childish when you think about it.
Absolutely.
But I've realized, I've been out of high school for many, many years. No matter what, somewhere, no matter what I do, something it's gonna remind me of high school, because some people are still stuck mentally there.
Oh yeah. I see it at my job all the time.
Yeah.
And I walk away from so many conversations because I'm like, I have nothing to add to this conversation, because it reminds me of something in middle school.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So I do understand what you're saying there. And I just think, just to get back focused, like, I just think that if people would stop, how can I put this? If people would stop trying to date social media.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to date social media.
Yeah, look, stop dating social media, all right? And share more moments with the people that you share a home with. And you can build a solid relationship there, right?
Yep.
But what we do is, a lot of people say in relationships, and we did shows before, and people have problems with committing or being submissive. Look, I see so many people being committed to being in the streets. I see so many people being committed to being on social media. I see so many people being submissive to it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think if we just kind of slow down and, like I said, stop dating social media. A lot of people may have a problem with staying in communication with their significant others, but what they do not, and what I'm going to talk to you guys, what you do not realize, that you're being submissive and staying in communication with the world, with social media, but then you have a problem doing it with a person that you coexist with.
Yeah.
That's a big problem there.
Yeah, it is.
That is a very big problem, Todd. And I don't think a lot of people see it because it's so sneaky.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know what I'm saying?
You scroll and listen, if you open up your phone, right, and you scroll and you see a woman that looks nice, she's your type, whatever, body, hair, face, whatever it is, you like that about that person, right? The moment you click that button off of this woman, that like button off of a woman you don't know, you just like what you saw, you're going to see more.
Gonna see more.
You're gonna keep seeing more. So it's almost like it's conditioned for you to keep seeing the same thing over and over again. It's just a different face and a different name.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's sneaky and it's a trap.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we all have some place we go home to that we call home. Excuse me. So if you're leaving work, where are you going to?
Right.
Are you going to a photo shoot? And what I mean by that, are you going to the local bar or restaurant so you can do more selfie shots for social media?
Yeah.
Or are you going to the very place that you just left work to build for? So the one thing that we're out here and we're building businesses for, and then some people don't have business, and that's okay. You know, they have career jobs, but don't put the one thing last that the reason why you're there first.
Yep.
So you're building your business for your family, for your home. Stop putting that last. It's causing a lot of problems. And then it's causing other people problems, because when you're not at home paying attention to the people that you coexist with, we've seen all type of shootings at school.
Yes.
And it's all because the parents were not paying attention.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
They were in their own
checked
world.
out. And I'm going to put it this way. They may have been at home and still checked out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I know that because I've done it.
Yes.
So I've done it before. It can happen to anybody. Okay. Tunnel vision is not always a good thing, especially without balance. I understand you want to chase especially when it comes down to you chasing your dreams and your goals and all that. That's great, but when it's like not even dream related, goal related, that's even worse if you putting something else over your home. That phone shouldn't be over your home if you're not making money from it. It really shouldn't take precedence over your home. I mean that. You know, like if you making your money, please by all means make your money, because a lot of people don't like going into their job. Some people get paid from doing stuff off of their phone. But if you're not getting paid, or at least working to get paid, it is pointless. Figure out something else to do, and then figure out what you can do to include your family.
I agree, and I don't think that whatever you may be doing outside of your career job, I'm sure you can take your family with you.
Yeah.
When you are out, and you may have to make deliveries, but come on, you guys come with me. I sold some product, and I have to go across town. And while I make these deliveries, on the way back, stop, get some ice cream, get some dessert with your family, right? Now what you're doing, two things. You're showing your children just that life isn't free. This is what dad or mom does to keep the lights on, the gas on, food on the table. Like, I get it. And then they see commitment and they see focus. Right? Just out of you making that delivery, maybe shaking that person's hand, take your family with you. Because if you don't take your family with you, you're going to take something with you. Or it's a possibility. People mess up all the time. And if you spend enough time away from home, you're going to establish relationships outside of home, wherever you spend the most time at. And if you're in the streets, that's just how people get caught up all the time.
Hey, listen, I'm with you on that because I remember working at the plant. It was like it was a totally different world. Like it's a reason why they call it plant life. You have a totally different life in that building. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Yeah, it's a different world. So and that's why they separate it because you got your life and then you got plant life. You at the plant more than you at home. Trust me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let's talk about them plant wives and husbands.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that is an ongoing thing.
You got that one that come and see you every day.
Yeah.
Bring your orange juice, newspaper, whatever,
Something to
your
eat.
donut, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something to eat. And that right there, like you said, it's a whole nother life there. Even with that happening around you, if your foundation at home is solid, very solid, it's hard for you to get caught in that trap.
Well, it is and it isn't. Here's why.
Okay.
Because sometimes home could be so strenuous, your escape is work. So when work becomes your sanctuary almost, you end up developing having more of a likeness towards work than you do home. Because it's like, I don't want to go home and hear that mess. So I'm about to go here where I can have some peace. I can flirt, talk, trash to whoever, and it just be fun and games to pass the time. I don't have to deal with nothing super serious. So I understand how that can happen, even if you're not trying to look for trouble.
And I can relate to that because I see it all the time. However, I just listen to you, and you're right. And sometimes you cause the problem by not being at home, and that's why it's no peace there.
Yeah.
Right? So no, you don't want to come home and have to be accountable for not being there and being checked out while you were there.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. A lot of people do. I remember I used to work a lot when I was in a relationship and it wasn't good. Man, 7 days a week was nothing. I was like, I think I said it on the other show. I think I talked about. I had attitude when I had to go home. You know what I'm saying? I like, man, really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you sit in the driveway in your car for a couple minutes.
Yeah. And
then you get that call. You all right? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll be in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? And then when I couldn't work, you know what else became a go-to? The gym. Right
Yes,
up, and
yes.
because I used to work nights, I used to get off early enough to where I didn't hit that real gym traffic.
Okay.
Where it was like all the machines was almost every machine was empty except for maybe two. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, this is cool. I love this right here. This is my escape. This is my other escape. It's almost like I had a side chick at one point, and then I created another one when she wasn't acting right. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like.
So should we now? Next, we'll be discussing how to make things a little bit within the time that we have left. We have plenty of time left.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about how to make things a little bit more peaceful at home.
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
So if we're right now, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about is anyone home? So we're discussing the foundation of home. And we're just going to get into maybe to a couple things that probably will prevent people from wanting to be at home. And I think we just talked about a couple of them. But on the flip side, let's give them some bread about you may be that person causing chaos in your home. So maybe some of these things you need to hear because you should want and make the environment peaceful for someone to come home to, children included.
Yes.
Right? So I just think like when someone walks in the door and says, how was your day? Okay, now they want the short version, not 3 chapters. Okay? Mm-hmm. So let's get in there real quick and then get back out.
Yeah.
Right? I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a man or woman, no, man, I got to go home and hear about this mess that happened to her or him at work.
Yeah.
For about an hour.
and I just had to do my 12-hour shift. Like, so yeah.
So if you're listening, husband and wives, significant others, just give the short version.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's some better things you can be doing with your evening. And as I'm sharing these things, I'm also taking notes for myself.
Yeah.
Because I can get long-winded about things and things that happen. So I say, hey, check yourself.
Yeah.
Say less.
Yep, definitely. Get to the point.
Just today, that's my thing. Say less.
Yep.
this key points and back out of there. You got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have the uncomfortable conversations, please, because those are only gonna help y'all grow. All right. And sometimes, people be quick to say, "Oh, you want to fix your relationship? Go to therapy. Go to therapy." No, therapy is not the end all be all. You got to want to do the work in order for the therapy to even work. You got to want that to happen. Y'all got to want to get on the same page. Otherwise, therapy is going to be a waste of money and a waste of time. You two have to put in more of that work. All the therapist really doing is just making suggestions, and y'all either going to follow them or not, or try them out. But it's going to start with you guys. You guys got to want to do that. So have those uncomfortable conversations. Hey, baby, listen, you gaining a little too much weight. So I'm going to need you to get in the gym, and I will get in there with you. Hey, ladies, if you're talking to your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, hey, let him know. He ain't been getting on his job when it come down to fixing stuff around the house, cutting the grass. Talk to them. Don't talk at them. And this goes for us when we talk to women.
Cool. And I think like you said, the uncomfortable conversations are the ones that we avoid or we tend to leave for last.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to go to sleep on that, right? So let's stop avoiding, have accountability, so you can make your home peaceful. It's nothing worse. I think to me, what creates bad energy in a home is no accountability.
Yeah.
And I know I say that a lot, but when you're trying to avoid accountability, it causes bad energy. It can be from the man, from the woman. It doesn't make a difference, but no one's keeping score. You're not going to lose any trophies. You're not going to be held back a grade. You're just going to allow your relationship to graduate. I'm going to put it that way. So I think those are a couple key things that we can do in a home to make it a little bit more peaceful. Be there a lot more and be more open so you're more approachable.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
The reason why I think a lot of people don't want to come home and maybe have the harsh conversations, like you said, is because you don't make yourself approachable.
Yeah.
If your first thing you're going to do is get angry, your children's not going to come to you, your husband's not going to come to you, or your wife's not going to come to you. So just sit back a little bit, adjust your energy, your spirit, and be more approachable.
Yeah, and
right. Even if you're in a room and you're reading your paper and someone comes in, they want to talk to you, don't give them the what. Give them like, hey, babe, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it took your children or your spouse a lot just to walk in that room to have this tough conversation with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And if you're not approachable in your home, that conversation will be put on a back burner. And other things are going to stack along the way until somebody just blow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's a whole nother something. So being approachable, having the harsh conversations, right? Give them the short story version of stories, not the hour version. Even if you have some type of disagreement in the house, have accountability. Accountability will shorten any resolution in anything.
Yeah.
You get to a quicker resolution when you have accountability.
Definitely. Also, stop listening to respond and listen to understand. Like, y'all, sometimes people will get into an argument, mainly couples. Somebody hear one thing they don't like, and that just kind of keeps everything going and spiraling out of control. No, start listening to really understand where the other person is coming from. And I get it. Sometimes it's frustrating to hear where they're coming from because you like, yo, what world are you living in that you see this? And this is not really what's going on. So I understand that aspect of it too. But just listen. If you really want to work things out, just listen. Wait for them to be done talking. Don't cut them off. That will help out a lot. I hate getting cut off. Don't cut me off. I need to get this out. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking for a reason, not just because I got a tongue. No, listen to what I'm saying. That's it.
You know what? If you're listening to this and you know that I hate getting cut off, just know that whole thing was organic because I feel you.
Yeah.
So now the type of person I am, I have to first address you cutting me off.
Yeah.
Try to keep on track of the point I was trying to make. what I was trying to share. So now this conversation is super long. So listen, like what Ty was saying, don't listen to respond, listen to understand. Right?
Yeah.
And that will make home life much easier also. We have to practice this with our spouse, with our children also. Because, you know, they haven't lived enough life, especially your children, and they're going to come to you and they're going to try to explain it as much as possible. They don't have as much wisdom as you have, right? So just please listen to understand. And I love it, and I'm glad you brought that up. And one other thing I did want to bring up about being at home and sharing time with children or your significant other, even your children, they need a lot more than one play date a month from you.
Yeah, I agree.
Man,
I agree.
Like for real. And if you don't live with your children, at least call them, right? Text them, call them, have a conversation with them. Just don't give that person one play day a month.
Yeah, that's not enough.
So you setting yourself up because for the other 29 days, what do you think they're doing? They're absorbing. You don't have time to pour into them, so their friends going to pour into them. That can be your wife. That can be your kids.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden, when you finally sit down and have a conversation with your kids or your wife or your husband, you're like, so where'd you get this from? Well, you left me alone for the last 29 days.
Exactly. We're like, that's why you can't. Then that's another thing. Stop getting too comfortable. That's another thing. People get too comfortable with the fact that, oh, I got this person, so we good now. We had a couple of kids. We good now. They not going nowhere. No, kids don't keep nobody. Okay. No, not a woman or a man. Don't ever get too comfortable. Your competition could be in a store, anywhere. So you can't get too comfortable in these relationships because a no from you is a yes to somebody else, and you won't even have to ask them.
Wow.
So y'all need to shaping up because it's a lot of relationships is going wrong because people want to get complacent. They don't want to keep doing what it took to get that person. They just like, oh, I got him, so I'm good. Nope, that's the quickest way to lose somebody. And first, let me tell y'all something too, fellas. Women mentally check out first. So, in some of y'all so oblivious, y'all not even gonna notice it. She could still give you some action and be out of it mentally. But entertaining somebody else, working on her next boyfriend, working on her next husband. Stay woke, man. For real.
And that's some good advice.
Thank you.
That's some very good advice. And that just ties back into is anyone home?
Yeah.
And when you're not at home, when you're home and you're still not at home, you give time for things like that to develop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really do. You know, people like, how could this had happened? I was at home. We were at home all the time. We got social media. It can be sitting right next to you. What you doing? I'm not doing nothing.
That phone.
Right.
Yo.
Now, my good friend now, we play games. You know, he taught me how to play dominoes, and I've been whooping her. And
That's real.
And so we do Jenga. You know, we start getting to some card games, and then before you know it, you can be having a drink. And the same thing that person would usually leave the home for, you establish right there. You develop. You can sit at that table and talk smack and eat on some wings and have some drinks.
Yep.
And it could be just you and your significant other and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You never had to leave the home for it.
Yeah.
You understand? And then now your children are seeing. Now, and this is the other thing. So we've been very good examples. So children, when they see something healthy, they always want it for themselves. So mentally, they're walking back and forth past the table. And then when they sit down, maybe when they reach adulthood, they'll be like, I want what mom and dad had.
Right.
They used to be at home laughing, playing games, talking smack. Now, look what we just did. You didn't help your home out and the next generation home out.
Yep.
Right? So generational wealth does not always have to be monetary, right? Now your great grandchildren are doing what you started.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
that part right there. So I like what you said a little while ago about not being complacent, not taking people for granted. It's very easy to do.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Very easy to do, right? So you leave opportunity for bad energy to come into your home, right? And what I mean by that is because your spouse or your children can leave your home, but guess what they bringing back? They tracking the bad energy, things they didn't learn throughout the day all across your floors.
Yep.
Because that's where they been,
Yeah.
right? So if you're just tuning in, please, what's our call-in number time? Is it
So
313?
313-518-2353.
Okay. Todd, we got anybody checking in to say anything on
Yeah, my boy Armand, he tapped in. He said a lot of people who have gone through a divorce or are currently going through a separation or a divorce could benefit from this discussion. Many relationships can be saved from this simple advice you're giving.
Wow.
So we
Thanks for that
appreciate
also.
that. We definitely appreciate that.
Wow. I love our listening and viewing audience because they're always putting some amazing things. Anybody else on there?
No, not from what I could. Not leaving comments. They not. Just
Okay.
a few people tapping in.
And you know, what he just said was so powerful right there, you know, and it really could.
Yeah. Yep. 313-518-2353.
Yes, please. Oh, that's a new number. Please call in if you have anything that you would like to add that you think would help the rest of the listening audience or even myself. Because I tell people, well, no, people ask me what's some of your best qualities. I said I'm very teachable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very teachable.
Got to be teachable, coachable, all of that.
Yeah, even at my age, I'm not stuck in any ways because I'm constantly growing.
Yep.
So no one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It may have been some things I felt strongly about, but because I had a chance to go through the process or a life change with it,
Right.
I let it go. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for her to learn something new here, Fred.
Right.
And I always do, and I enjoy it. My dad always tell me, and I share it with my children and my friends, said always learn something new every day. I was sitting down with my friend today, and I was telling her things that I did research on today, right? And I may ask sometimes, what'd you research today? Right? Because when I take my mind there, I'm taking my mind away from something else, right? That doesn't need to be there.
Right.
So if I'm at work and I'm working and I'm doing research, I'm not involving myself in conversations that can possibly take me backwards. I'm
Exactly.
not, you know, I'm not entertaining energy,
Yeah.
right? Like I work at the plant, so it's very easy, the plant life, for someone to kind of walk up on you. But people will kind of bag up or go the opposite direction when you look busy.
That's true. That's true. I have noticed that. I've noticed that a lot. When I'm busy, nobody be bothering me, man. Cause I'm in my zone, and you could tell when I'm in my zone. Like I'm not even. Sometimes I won't even speak to people, like, cause I could be so zoned in on what I'm doing. Like somebody could say something to me, hey, what up? But I'm not gonna keep a conversation going. Like you see me doing, you see what I'm doing, so I'm about to just keep going like that. So that's how it works.
Yes, and if you ever at home, I'm gonna give you this advice also. If someone calls you and you pick up the phone and they say, "What were you doing?" Never say nothing. Never say nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. I was writing. Okay, well I'm gonna keep it short.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever they want to tell you. But if you weren't doing anything, if someone called me, I'm at home, I never say, "Hey, what were you doing?" I never say nothing. Because the truth of the matter, I'm always doing something. But I'm not going to give you that opportunity to take away from my peaceful time at home. What did you want to say, Tom?
I was just gonna say, you get a few bad apples though that you would tell them that you're doing something, and they'll be niggerant enough to just keep on talking and just yapping away.
And I'm just that person for them.
So yeah, like
I'll let them know.
Yeah, and I do too. I'm like, hey, I'll be like, hey, I'm out with the wife. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Oh, hey man, so what's going on with this? And that? What? Did you hear what I just said, bro? I picked up because I wanted to see what was going on. But if I told you what I was doing, you need to respect that.
Right.
I would respect you if you told me you was out with your woman.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So yeah, man.
And I think that's the other thing we need to add to this list also. Respect your home and have others respect it also.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the phone calls that may come about, never, if you're there with your wife, don't, and you know you guys are having a conversation, just don't say nothing or we were just. No, what's going on? I'm sitting here with my wife. We're watching a movie. Is it important? Everything okay?
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to get back to this moment.
Right.
Protect your peace. You have to protect your home. Protect your peace in your home and have other people respect it. Right? And that's the other thing about homes. I'm telling you, you allow everyone to come there and drop up all their trash.
Yeah.
Man, really? We're not doing this.
Yeah.
You can't even come by till I was in the neighborhood. Really?
Yeah. And you definitely got to stop letting outside influences mess with your home, too. Like, everybody you don't have to let everybody in on what's going on.
So what's that look like to you? The outside influences, because some people may say, I think we have to break this thing down, because they may say outside influences. Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, see, in the past, I used to be the type of person that if I was really upset with my significant other or whatever, I would vent to a circle of people about the issue to see what advice I can get. Or sometimes I just wanted to vent. But what I wasn't realizing that information was going to get used against me at some point. Or if it was not used against me, it could get used against my wife. You know what I'm saying? So I had to stop venting about certain things that happened in my marriage, because I didn't know when it was going to come up again at an opportune moment to just break my wife down or me down. So in that moment, or just anybody just can get jealous at any moment and just bring up something that you had talked to them about in confidence for any reason. So I try not to talk about everything like that. And if I do, I got one person I holler at about anything marriage related, kid related, whatever, to keep it down. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I just talk to this one person, and I know that one person ain't gonna say nothing, even if they do, I know where it came from. So I have to narrow it down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't talk to everybody about everything, because unfortunately I can't. You know what I'm saying? I've had times where I thought I could trust family. Couldn't do that. That was the first backstab I got was from family. Yes. So I'm like, dang, I told you this. I didn't think you was gonna spread it to everybody else, and then the family drunk know everything, and then it's gotten crazy. So I'm like, you know what? To alleviate all of that, I'm just about to chill and talk to one person. And sometimes that one person ain't even here. It's God. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't even be sitting up there talking to my friends all the time about whatever I'm going through.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because everyone who say they're, if you're listening, everyone who say they're happy for you, they're not really happy for you. If it's family and friends, sometimes they may feel like they're losing their friend.
Yeah.
So you can't talk to them, like you said, about everything, because they'll store it up, right? And they're not going to play that hand at that moment. Right. But when they really want their friend back, they're going to play, because you remember what he did. Remember what he said.
Yeah.
Remember what she said.
Yep.
Now, I don't know, kind of weird to me, right? The next thing you know, now wheels are turning. Right now, you got an unease at your house.
Yep.
Because that's when that person come home to you looking at you sideways. Right. So I would believe in everything that you just said to be 100% true. You can't tell everybody everything, and the one person you should be talking to is God. If you trust enough in a therapist that you feel is good, share things with them. Yep. If you do have that one person that you know things, they always give you solid advice, talk to them, right? And this is another way that you can have present moments at home that are peaceful. Right? Now, this is something we have to practice every day.
Yeah.
Because situations come up all the time, especially if it's more than two people in a household.
Yeah.
All the time. So you have to make yourself approachable. I think we discussed that. Communication. The short version.
Yeah, definitely.
And I had to learn that, the short version of the communication.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that you feel like may help someone?
Learn how to work out your problems in-house. Like, and when I say that, I'm talking about try not to argue when you're out in public. Get in that car and, go ahead and have it out if you need to, but make sure even if it's a heated discussion, y'all are listening to each other.
Absolutely.
Because if one of y'all heated or both of y'all heated, nobody's going to get anything solved. So one of you, at least one of you, got to take your emotions out of the situation. I talked about this earlier. Only focus on the logic. Because if you don't focus on the logic, you're not going to get nowhere else with the situation. So explain it, make it make sense, and go from there. If y'all can make it through if y'all can make it past that, y'all be able to make it past anything.
Okay. I mean, I agree with that 100%. Logic, it always works, especially since we're talking about home, keeping peace. I would put my truth in front of how I feel. People always say, well, this is how I feel, the emotions in that moment, right? But if you tell the truth, it's going to be some logic and some accountability there.
Yeah.
So whenever you're trying to have at your home to keep the peace, listen, we're talking about that. We're talking about is anyone at home. So we're talking about things that basically that can keep you at home at peace or can possibly keep you away from home in peace. And this is what you go to work for every day to pay for, to keep the lawn up, to keep the security, for the security of your family. So the first place you always want to invest in is at home because love is there.
Yes.
Right? That's your peace.
Yeah.
And you don't have everybody there. I'm sorry. You can know a lot of colleagues and co-workers, whatever you want to call associates, but everybody's not privileged to come home to your home. I'm sorry.
No, they're not. They're not. And I'm with you on that. It's just some energy that's not allowed. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long we known each other. I don't care if we family members. If your energy is bold, you're not coming to my house, and you're not about to mess up nothing in my crib. I'm not gonna allow it. Mm-hmm. And it start with you. Like my man's Larry, he was in the comments. He said, "Don't answer." When you know your phone ringing and you got that one friend that you know that's always on some BS, you don't have to answer. So he's right. Everybody got one friend that be on some bull, right?
Yes.
So when you know that they calling it's some nonsense, you don't have to answer. You can ignore that call, just as easy as that. You can keep people out from coming in your house that you don't want over there. Hey, you said you coming over? Okay, cool. Make sure it's just you. Don't bring nobody else. And if they do bring somebody extra that you dislike, you can get them out of there.
Absolutely.
But it starts with you. You got to lay down the ground rules, and if somebody gonna disrespect your ground rules, there goes they showed you who they are and what they stand for when it come to you.
And I'm gonna get this one out right now because I know someone was thinking it. So if you do receive that phone call and you got that kind heart and you always, I want to make sure everything's okay. You don't have to pick up the phone. You can pick up and text and be like, is everything okay? I'm right in the middle of something.
Right.
Right?
That's
and they
right.
let them say, no, I just wanted to talk about something cool. So for that person who has that good heart and they just want to pick up every time, just pick up and text back.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? I was just in the middle of something. And they'll tell you, you go back to what you were in the middle of.
Exactly.
Enjoying your peace.
Yep.
Now, is there anything that we should be telling the children how to make things a little bit more comfortable for their parents at home? Because what I found out also is we have blended families, right? Now, I'm not saying that they won't give total respect, but it all depends on the foundation, right, of the relationship or maybe the other parent. Is any tips? Because I've had blended families before,
right.
And sometimes that could make your spouse a little bit uncomfortable because not the proper respect as an adult, for one thing, and then the position they hold to your father or your mother as a husband or a wife.
I can tell you right now, from experience, being a stepfather, being a step parent in general is one of the hardest jobs on the planet. Like, you gotta deal, because you gotta deal with that kid that's not yours, right? That you taking in. Then you gotta deal with whatever baggage the mother brings. Then after that, it's the dad, the real dad. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they coming with. So you dealing with a lot, and it works the other way too. So my only advice is make sure that it's clear cut communication and some boundaries set, because I don't care what's going on. nobody's BM or BD should be hitting their phone up and it's not an emergency when it's late.
Absolutely.
If it ain't no emergency, don't call my phone.
And then the one thing I want to add to that also is because people are getting married later in life.
Yeah.
So the chances of you having blended families is the percentage is very high. I would say 85 to 90%.
Yeah.
Right. So when you blend a family and a home together, the rules or the standards at the previous home, they all of them can't come into the new home.
No.
And you got to sit down and talk about that, because if you don't, they will slowly unfold, and it seems like you have situation after situation after situation. If you would have just sat down at once, maybe for about an hour, and say, hey, look, I know you're 17, and I used to let you smoke and drink at home. That's just what I did, because maybe I felt it was, at least if you're going to do it, you do it at home.
Right.
I dealt with that before. Now, you marry somebody, and we don't do that, because I got kids, and they may be around the same age. So they're not looking at your child sitting over here smoking and drinking underage.
Yeah.
So with certain things, standards and boundaries, I'm going to say standards that were set at a previous home, and we're talking to the people who have blended family, you can't bring all of that.
No,
and
you can't.
It may have been just some generational mindset that you had coming out of your home as an adult. So a lot of people, since we're talking about our home, that's the biggest thing I think that breaks homes and marriages. People just do not sit down and say, hey, look, we about to blend these families, these households, these years of traditions. Let's talk. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait for this to unfold as time goes on. Let's just talk about now, we can't see everything that's going to go on, people, but the major things that let's discuss these things and keep the peace.
Yeah.
What you feel about that, Tom?
I definitely agree. Like, it has to be a discussion, and it has to be an understanding, and you guys got to be able to work together. Like, yeah, y'all definitely got to work together, and sometimes working together might not be the best fit. That's not going to look good all the time, but y'all definitely got to find a way to see eye to eye in these situations when it comes down to raising these kids.
Yes.
Because one thing I can tell you, what these kids need for sure, they need mom, dad, mom, stepdad, and vice versa. Everybody need to get along for the betterment of the children. Mm-hmm. That's the only way they're going to come out right. Because if everybody bickering, guess what? These kids are going to grow up just like that.
Yes. Yes. So today, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about As Anyone Home. So we're talking about method, ways, standards, suggestion, ideas can possibly make you want to be at home, not sitting in the driveway, not sitting at the bar, not hanging out with your friends until you figure your wife's asleep or the kids are asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, if you ain't home, the wife ain't asleep.
The way they doing, she probably won't be at home either.
Yeah, real talk.
You know, that talk right there. And that's the other thing. We got a few minutes in marriages. So we're going to act just for this moment, like, if you come together late in life, right, maybe the children are gone, okay? Try not, if you're building a home together, try not to live socially separate 90% of the time. You will have no peace at home.
That's real. That's real.
You really will not have any peace at home. Your significant other should be able to come with you pretty much everywhere you go, pretty much. But you're going to have your time with your friends, your guys, or your girls, and I get this. Keep it respectful so you can have that one thing, and I'm talking about, and this is reality, most of us are getting married in our 40s and 50s.
Uh-huh. There.
Right? Would you agree?
There's a lot of people getting married later.
Okay. So, at this point, you have to remember the things that you prayed about. So when you have them, the one thing that you want to keep, and if you, before you met this person, if you had peace in your home, this could be a man or woman, let's have help your significant other keep that peace, because that's what you really should have been bringing to the table.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
we just enjoy you guys tuning in to Man's Edition presented by Creative Emotions. Welcome aboard, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it for real.
I love your energy. From the day I met you, very transparent. Maybe because you're a Gemini like me, huh?
Probably.
We the best.
Probably.
That's Miles and stuff. You must be a Sagittarius. I don't know.
No, you're a Scorpio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that right there. So anyway.
We appreciate y'all joining us, man.
Yes, tune in next week at 6 o'clock. You know what? We may just be back on next week. Also, if not, Q will be here with another amazing topic. So we love you. We'll just say this. We ain't got nothing but love for you.
Yep. Catch y'all next time, y'all.
All right,
Indeed.
peace.